First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to do this project with you guys. It's, of course, my homework, my assignment number 9. So we decided we're going to talk about something that has actually happened to you guys personally, something that a lot of people deal with, a lot of couples, especially financial issues. You're going to talk a little bit about what happened as much as you feel comfortable talking about. And then we're going to see, we're going to try to look through your struggles and see how you guys became better persons through that experience. So, first of all, let's just introduce a little bit. Adam, Ashley, you guys have been married for 11.5 years.
Yep.
And you guys are typically what's called a nuclear family, which is a husband and wife and beautiful 3 children. You guys are, Adam, you are a service member in the military, and you also work at the hospital, and Ashley, you're a stay-at-home mom. So let's start wherever you want to start.
Okay.
I guess the start of our financial problems was really at the house.
We got a house that basically, when they said, hey, you're approved for X amount, we went to the very top.
When did this happen?
2005.
Oh, 5, yeah.
We moved in
2006 when we moved in.
Yeah. 2005.
Okay.
We've been married 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Decided, hey, let's buy a house. They say we can get X amount, let's go to the top of that. Not thinking, hey, he's getting out of the Navy soon, and we're not going to
Getting out of active duty.
and not going to have that income anymore. What do you think about that?
I didn't think about that at all. And on top of that, even when we did decide to stay in, there's hadn't had the house long enough to have any equity in it. Or
Sell it.
anything like that. To sell it. I made decent money at my job at the post office, but when half of your salary a month goes into your house,
Because the hours.
you live pretty well house poor, so.
Right.
And
The hours, they never were consistent. One week it'd be 40 plus, the next week it'd be like barely 30.
So how long was the time between you getting out of the military and actually having the house? Did you,
We had the house before we got out of active duty.
how long did you have the house for?
I moved in February of
Almost
06.
2 years because
And then I got out December of 07.
Chloe was just over
And it
2 months old
It was just
when
under
we
2
moved
years.
in, and he got out December, right at her 2nd birthday. So just almost 2 years. And then it took about 3-4 months to get a job
Yeah,
at
and
the
it
post
dropped
office.
about 3 months.
So that was a struggle. We lived off credit cards then because we had no way of income, really. We weren't, we were on assistance for a little bit. With that.
You worked for your dad, too.
I did work for my dad. I did. Nope, you didn't say it here. Or you didn't say it.
So you guys, so then where did the financial issues, so you guys were good for how long?
We were barely making it. We were getting all of our bills paid and everything, and everything was good. It started getting really tight.
Living a lot probably like a lot of normal Americans, paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Was that putting a struggle in your marriage?
Oh, absolutely. Because I couldn't make enough because I don't have any further education, just my GED, and to actually benefit us for me to work outside the home for paying child care. And so that was a strain because, of course, being a
Not
man,
being too much for it to make it worthwhile for him. We didn't
we
qualify.
qualified for it. You were right there.
Not that we really wanted to use anything anyway, but
It because he had all the stress of the bringing home the bacon, so to speak, and didn't have anything to show for it, working his butt off. So of course he was working 6 days a week.
and then we finally did get to a financial area, with me going to school and my GI Bill, where we were doing really well. We made the mistake of, going ahead and finishing our basement and putting a lot of money into that.
That was because when he went to reserve, he got a bonus. But hey, let's finish the basement and put equity into it. And
So was that like a plan for you guys to, when you say you're trying to put equity in, was that like a plan of trying to refinance the home or try to get out of the home? Was that kind of like the thought?
at this point,
Okay.
we decided we were just going to stay there, and we wanted to make the home bigger and suit us better.
And if it ever came to a point where we sell it, it would have more of a selling value.
Right. Because they had a very
With the
small.
basement being finished.
Right.
So we're up to the point where the basement gets done, and then, so how long have you been in the house then, by the time the basement gets done?
That was 2009, I believe, is when that was finished. So it was roughly 3 years.
Okay, and then what happens after that? Did things get better, worse?
They got a whole lot worse. We were royally screwed by the contractor, which happened to be family. And so then it took pretty much all of his bonus, and then we had to get a loan to cover the other side.
Which just also put hardships because I didn't want to use them to begin with, and it was her idea.
Right.
So did that, when that happens, like when he said it was your idea, did that make you feel guilty? Did that make you feel guilty
Oh,
at all?
absolutely. Most of it through this bankruptcy and everything, I felt like it was all my fault. I'm the one that wanted the house. I'm the one that wasn't wise with the money when he was deployed. I'm the one that basically was done being separated for 2 years. So we have to do something. We can't sell the house, so I don't want to raise this family by myself. So got out because we were tired of being separated. That was kind of both of our decisions, but I still held a lot of that guilt because I knew that he was actually doing something with his life as to where most of his family hadn't, and that was who we were. So it was kind of like letting go of who we are as a married couple. That's all we knew. And then
I think it put some, not even financial wise, just as far as our relationship wise, just being back home because we've been away on
most of
our
our
own
marriage was gone.
for
away
so
from
long.
home.
Oh yeah, because most of your marriage you spent it.
We didn't have to deal with, the struggles of being around family. And so that made things harder, especially with some of her family.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna hold off on the guilt part because I want you guys to kind of finish up. Okay, so how do you get to the bankruptcy and then what has happened transpired for the last?
After the basement fiasco and getting screwed by the contractor, we were finally starting to get everything leveled out, even though it was screwed.
We were getting things leveled out, but we still had my GI Bill that we were living on too. And we were coming to a period where they were kind of changing things. And also on top of that, I only had like a year left on it. So we knew that was going to be running out. And then I ended up losing my job.
And that was November of 2010.
Over a simple stupid mistake. And
So you got fired on it?
yeah, technically I was fired and went through a lot of hoopla. Didn't think I was getting my job back.
Without pay for
And,
6 weeks or 8 weeks.
Yeah, and say I didn't even get unemployment for 6 weeks because I was fired. And didn't qualify for any assistance of any kind, but didn't have any kind of income coming in. And
For 6 to 8 weeks.
so we couldn't pay. We were one house payment behind, just that we were in the process. That's the only thing we're behind on. We were in the process of getting ready to catch up on that, and then I lost my job. So they automatically put us 2 house payments behind as soon as that happened. Because my last paycheck that I got, we couldn't pay the house payment and not have any money to buy food or anything else. So that automatically put us 2 house payments behind, and it didn't look like I was going to be getting my job back, even with the union. So at that point, our only option was file bankruptcy.
And was that like a mutual decision, or was that like?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but one thing that I've noticed about you guys is that you guys do everything together as a unit. You guys always talk about everything.
Right.
So when the decision of the bankruptcy came, was it just like a mutual agreement? You guys were both okay with?
Oh, absolutely, because we thought, well, our credit, we had some other things. We had 2 car payments, we had the basement payment, and a couple of other different things that we were still trying to pay off for at that time that we lived off of the credit cards. And we just decided, if our credit's going to be ruined from a foreclosure, let's just wipe the slate clean and start all over.
Because there's no way I could pay my house payment on unemployment. It would take my entire unemployment for the month.
Refinancing really wasn't an option because our credit was already struggling anyway.
Because we'd already had some late payments.
So when you guys decided to do the bankruptcy, do you think it hit you harder or did it hit her harder? You guys being the sole provider, the provider of the male of the family, What do you think? What do you think? Or do you think it will be the same?
I don't really know. I mean,
I would say it hit the same amount, just in different ways.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
On me, I felt like I was not being faithful in the way I was handling our funds, because I'm the one that basically paid all the bills and handled the money. He knew what was coming in and out and how much everything was, but I was one physically doing everything. And I didn't feel like I was maintaining the household funds properly. And I was making, hey, I want to buy my daughter or my son this outfit, and I would just go do it even if it wasn't there. Like, I wouldn't go crazy, but I still wasn't very smart with it. And
she didn't worry about the bills first. She worried about everything first.
right.
Bills came second.
So then, and then him too, working literally his butt off because he lost a lot of weight working post office. But, and then not having anything to show for it. And that, to me, my husband working so hard, like I would see him come home every day and he would just be literally drained, physically and emotionally, and I thought it was my fault that our funds weren't being stretched further than before.
So you took on that guilt.
I took
And
on
then
a
what
lot
about
of
what about with you? How did you think you expressed the bankruptcy and the whole situation?
There's a time frame, because especially whenever I lost my job, I kind of put my head in the sand. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't see being able to obtain a job that that I'd be able to make it, the ends meet and all, and those kinds of things, and
That was frustrating to me.
So, because knowing you guys, I know that you're more of a vocal person, you're more of an internal person. So, with you, I would presume that you try to like vocalize it more.
Oh, absolutely.
What
I
about
would
with
be
you?
very, what are you thinking? We gotta get this going. You don't have time to sit around here with our thumbs up our butt. We have to have a plan. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I can't bring home what you can. So we gotta get, I was the cheerleader is what we always say, but not always in the best way. Just get this show on the road. We gotta do something. As to where he would, the more I would be that little chihuahua, he would close in more. And then which would frustrate me. So it was like a vicious cycle there for a while. It was very vicious.
So then what happened? So, okay, so after bankruptcy happens, then what perspired after that?
When we filed, we had, I think we filed in February.
we started the process in February.
February.
We started it right whenever I
11?
got my job back, because it's
February.
awesome to fire me the way it did.
And then, was it 2012? February 2012 is when we actually filed, and then it was final July 11th.
July 11th is when we went through our court.
And during that time, we
So
were,
what year?
11, 2000, or 12, I'm sorry, it was 12. 2012, it was a year ago. And then, during that time, between February and July, we knew we were going to have to move. We knew we didn't want to stay in the area that we were in because just bad family stuff and just a bad area.
And we wanted to kind of start brand new.
We're going to start over.
completely, with us, with our own family, and just getting a fresh start somewhere else.
We were going to go up to St. Louis, which is about an hour north of where we were. And just one day we just started talking about where we were the happiest. Where do we remember being the happiest? And he put here in Jacksonville, back on the map, and threw me for a loop because I didn't remember that, but he did.
So how did you end up back in Jacksonville?
Well, luckily enough, the time period I had off, since the post office had the way they tried to fire me and everything, they had to back pay me, and I got most of that, and we were able to keep that through bankruptcy. We didn't have to pay any of that back in, so that allowed us to move down here.
Which
and
means
have
no more income tax left.
Yeah, we had some income tax left. That allowed us to move down here and have some money in savings until I got a job. And luckily enough, we had friends down here that were like family that allowed us to live with them for a year, which was longer than we had planned on. But and that in itself, as good as everything was, has its own struggles. You know, you're not able to, you know, have your own personal space when you're living in somebody else's house.
And that must have put an extreme strain, even
Oh,
more of a
absolutely.
strain. And was it more of a, do you feel like it gave even more guilt? You know, living in somebody else's house, especially.
Absolutely. That added to it for a little while. But at that point, it wasn't just guilt for my husband, it was guilt for my kids. Because they, at one time, all three of them were in one bedroom. And that was really hard. Because she was still a baby then.
Mommy, cheese.
Cheese.
Mommy, cheese. I'm there.
Okay, we're talking and then we'll do it, okay, in a minute. But that, for me, was a lot of the guilt. And then we are so far away from family and what the kids have known. Even though it was all a family decision to move down here, you're going to fall. Still taking them away from everything they have ever known was kind of a guilt process for me as well. And then, just, to me, that was a lot of it.
So what about, like, how difficult was it? Do you think it made your marriage stronger, having to go through this process and, you know, being in somebody else's home after you guys been, you know, because you guys are going from him being away in the military, and then you guys are finally back together, you guys have this family going, everything's functioning, oh my gosh, here we go again, now you guys are, yes, you're together, but you're not in your own home, you know,
Right.
as a family, you're in somebody else's home. So how did that kind of play in your relationship? Do you guys think you got stronger from it? Do you guys think you had to, you know, did you guys have to kind of go through this period where it was like the guilt phase, and then you guys had to kind of suck it up and go ahead and keep on moving? Or what do you guys think happened in that year?
As far as, and on a emotional, intimate level, and the way we handle things, I think it brought us closer together. But the physical part, I think it's been a struggle to get that back. Because you don't have privacy. And so now it's like, this is weird, awkward. So, I mean,
Well, it's weird not. We're just being in our own place again.
you know, it's not like that we're not like into each other or whatever, but it's just like, what do we do? Have to learn all over again how to be with each other. I mean, in those ways, we were great partners as far as business-wise and taking care of the family and stuff, but now it's like, it's weird being husband and wife again. I mean, really, husband and wife.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, it's a great story. I'm sorry, we probably don't have that much time left. I do truly appreciate you guys, but I just want to sum up a little bit of what we talked about. We talked about you guys going through bankruptcy. We talked about you guys, you know, first of all, having the issues with him being in the military, having that separation, and then finally getting together, finally having what, you know, you guys wanted, and then having to lose it all over again. But the good thing is that you guys went through a full year, as I can tell and see from you guys, is that you guys learned a lot. You guys grew stronger as a couple. And now you guys are now in this position where you're able to have that family that you guys wanted from the beginning. And now you guys are just learning how to readapt to being just you guys and being, you know, the nuclear family, just you guys and the kids. So have I summed it up pretty well?
I think so.
Okay?
I think, yeah. I think
Okay.
you.
So I truly appreciate you guys for allowing me to spend some time with you guys. And thank you.